How's it going today, guys? This is Mr. Fernandez, your 11th grade history teacher. I'm working in conjunction with Mr. Caldwell, your physics teacher, on this multidisciplinary lesson. We're focusing today on the assassination of JFK, and we're actually going to do a little bit of alternate history work, so come along with me. The catalyst for our assignment happened on November 22nd, 1963, in Dealey Plaza in Dallas, Texas. During this visit, the president was shot and fatally wounded by a sniper. This assassination sent shockwaves throughout the nation, and Lyndon B. Johnson becoming our new president. This changed tons of policies that may have come into effect, considering Kennedy and Johnson didn't always see eye to eye on a lot of items. You would think it would be in the best interest of a president to have a vice president that's on his side, especially considering the amount of issues that faced the regime at the time. For one, they were right in the middle of the Cold War, and were following Kennedy's strict policy of containment. Kennedy was a big subscriber to the domino theory, where he felt that if one nation were to fall to communism, all those around them would sure to fall afterwards. This led to Kennedy okaying the failed Bay of Pigs invasion of Cuba, in which he trained guerrilla Cuban exiles to take back the power from Fidel Castro. Unfortunately for him, it ended up being a huge disaster and became a huge mark upon his foreign policy. The conflict in Vietnam exacerbated this problem for Kennedy. He continued to try to preach the doctrine of containment, so much so that he approved a coup which eventually led to the assassination of the South Vietnamese president. He felt that this president had been weak against communism, and that a new US-backed regime would be much more efficient in deterring communism from spreading in the nation. But not all of Kennedy's problems were found on foreign soil. As the civil rights movement continued to gain steam in the US, he found himself having to tackle the inequality that had been spreading throughout his nation. So many southern states had refused to grant equal rights to their African American citizenry, so much so that National Guard troops even had to be called out to one Alabama university to protect black students. JFK lobbied successfully to create legislation to advance equal rights. Unfortunately for Kennedy, he never saw this document be signed into law, because it was signed in 1964, a year after his assassination. JFK also understood that there was a severe inequality for another large group of citizens, and those were the women of the United States. In an attempt to find out what the cause and how to cure this problem, the president created his Commission on the Status of Women, led by Eleanor Roosevelt. This commission eventually created the Peterson Report, which became the groundwork for the women's rights movement and led to legislation that would lead to equal pay in the workplace for women as well. Unfortunately for JFK, because of his assassination, he never really got to see the end of most of his policies. And we wonder how things might have changed had he survived. And that is where you come in. In our alternate history that we will be creating, the president survives this attack, and it is up to us to continue his policies into the future. You will be put into the role as one of the president's advisors. You have been in charge and taking care of the country while he recovers from his injuries. Your job is to research and analyze the president's stands on many of these key matters, both domestically and abroad, and decide how he would have wanted you to handle these problems. The future is now yours to change. Would things have come out the same way if Kennedy would have not been assassinated, or would they be much different? That is for you to decide. For this project, you will be broken up into groups where you will be advisors to the president. Your job is going to be to research the president's policies and determine how history may have changed had he survived. This project will be broken up into 3 parts, 2 in which you will be working as a group and 1 individually. For the first part, as a group, you will do research on the policies and do a quick write-up on various policies you have chosen that you felt were the most important and would have had the most significant change had the president survived. For the second part, as a group, you will do a presentation on your findings. This presentation is open to your interpretation. You can do any kind of project that you feel would best get this message across. This could go anywhere from just a simple handout that you would give to your fellow students, to a skit, to a video. Your imagination is the only limit here, as long as you follow the accompanying rubric to this lesson. And make sure that you are doing concise and appropriate information in your presentation. For the third part of your assignment, each individual in the classroom will write their own essay with their opinions on the topics. These opinions may differ from those of your group, and it is totally fine if you have a completely different idea of how you feel the future may have turned out. I have created an Edmodo classroom for the classroom to use during this lesson. It is full of tons of resources and videos and quizzes and discussion boards that will help you complete your assignment. They will also help me judge your understanding of the information involved. Please participate at least once a week on your discussions, and make sure to follow this video up with a quiz afterwards. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you guys' presentations. Good luck.